The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is a book, I would guess to say this is a bit of a sci-fantasy story. This is about Nora Seed. She is a 35-year-old woman with depression. All these certain things start happening to her all at once, like a chain of terrible events to sort of push her into a depressive funk. So she finds herself in a sort of situation where she wants to end things. However, after her attempt fails, she ends up in the Midnight Library, which is a sort of, I bet it's hard to describe. It's kind of like a purgatory of sorts, where she's in a giant library an endless library full of shelves. She can't find the exit. However, the librarian there tells her that each book in this gigantic infinite library is a different aspect of her life. For the first book she has to open is the Book of Regrets. They're kind of like an essay. It sets up all the different large parts of Nora's life that she didn't get to pursue for whatever reason. I don't want to get into it because, you know, not because of spoilers, just because it's better to go in blind, to be honest. So the first, I guess, third of this book would be her trying to undo the Book of Regrets and going back to certain parts. And this book becomes a sort of adventure story, sort of reflective look at what your life would be if you went back in time and did certain things. But she's not really going back in time. She's sort of quantum leaping into another parallel universe and sort of hijacking herself in another universe. Very similar to Rick and Morty, that one episode. So basically, Nora has to, like, every time she jumps into a new reality, she has to, like, appropriate herself. She doesn't have any current memories of the place, so she'll just be doing something and people will be talking to her and she's got to pretend to know them. And it gets a little bit tiresome and repetitive. But I really like Matt Haig. Matt Haig is a great writer. I really enjoyed The Humans. And his other stories are like here and there. I've read all of his fiction stuff except for the Mr. Cave one. I'm not sure if I'll read that one. I think that's his first fiction. But anyways, I've read all the others, and I really like, you know, even the ones I didn't like, I still enjoyed them. This one felt a bit lacking for me. Nora is kind of a boring character, and the whole leaping into other lives thing feels a little bit like another book I did not like called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, where they kind of play it really fast and loose with the way it works with jumping into other realities. In this one, it's like a fantasy sort of, you know, sort of like a life flashing before your eyes, but other lives. And so there's the, you know, the book sort of has these, her trying out all these different things, and they change the plot a little bit in the middle. It gets a little interesting, but then it jumps back, and then overall, it's, you know, a very quick read. It's less than 300 pages. I don't really dwell on length too much, but I found myself having trouble getting through this book because it was very repetitive. You know, it's the equivalent of one of those time loop book or movies where that you keep repeating. You know, you have to basically show the audience what the rules are for repeating life, and you know, there's always that good 30 to 40 minutes of, oh man, we have to watch the same stuff over and over again. And this book has a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff in here that's just sort of, you know, tiresome, and I don't really like the message, I guess. Not really the message. I mean, the message is important. The message is like, don't kill yourself, basically, which is, you know, obviously important. But I just feel like it's a little bit on the nose, and you know, she gets like a new lease on life and everything. She's all like, yay, you know, because of this. And then the way she got there, I didn't like. But I can't get into that. So I give The Midnight Library a 3 out of 5.